We believe that if our government invests more money in its families, especially in its children, we will all be better off.
Coalition for People's Bailout. Happy to be here today with you guys. One of the things we're happy about is we're happy to say, after 8 years, goodbye and good riddance to Governor Pawlenty.
We want to let the Republicans know that, and the Democrats know that we're fighting back because we want justice for the poor and working people of Minnesota.
I'm with the Welfare Rights Committee, and we're part of the Minnesota Coalition for People's Bailout. And we're all united against what we call the hateful attacks. This is a rally actually against hate, because we know that the poor and working poor and the disabled are going to be particularly targeted this session by the Republican majority.
We're here on the opening day of the legislative session at the state capitol because we know what they're planning to do inside there. There's a $6 billion deficit, and they're planning to balance that budget deficit on the backs of poor and working people. That's clear.
The Welfare Rights Committee is here again for the 18th year in a row to say that we are ready to fight for our lives. Getting sworn in right now are dozens of mean-spirited people, and they are barely trying to hide it. We have seen them try to make cuts that absolutely target poor families, and the people with disabilities in particular. In some cases they succeeded, in part because both parties use poor families as bargaining chips in their dirty backroom negotiations.
That we will not be silent in the face of any attempt to balance the budget on the backs of poor and working people in the state of Minnesota. That there is a solution to the budget crisis. It's been talked about repeatedly. We've raised the banner over the years, and we've said it again and again. The time has come to tax the rich. We need to go to where the money is. We need to make them pay. They're not job creators, they're job destroyers. The people who sit on their money, they live on their high horses, they do whatever the hell they want, and then they come and say they deserve a bunch of privileges because they're so-called job creators while they're sitting on their wealth. This is a silly lie, and it's foolish, and it's something that we cannot sit back and believe.
How do we fix this? How do we show the people of the This is from the NAACP from the Southside Family School. They have been fighting at the Capitol for years. No matter what. Yes, NAACP.
When families are evicted from the places they rent because their building is foreclosed, children become homeless. Let this be the year that we work together to end foreclosure and child homelessness.
I want to believe that all lawmakers had to look into the real faces of real-life boys and girls and tell them they had to go homeless. They would think twice before bailing out the banks and punishing families.
We don't need more homelessness. We need to extend unemployment insurance and create jobs with fair wages. Let this be the year that we work together for justice.
And we are here because in the richest country in the world, it is not right that a child has to use a Cub Foods bag to replace our broken backpack, or doesn't have enough to eat, or is ashamed to wear worn-out clothes to school. Let this be the year we support our kids.
We believe that decent health care is a basic human right. Let this be the year everyone can afford health care. Our families need good, safe child care. We need homes. We need food. We need education. We don't need wars for profit, and we don't need to bail out the bankers while children suffer. Our new governor has proposed raising taxes for the very rich. We support this. Let this be the year that we put working and poor families first. As children, we believe that we should have a say in what happens in our world. We think it is time that lawmakers start thinking about the poor, the homeless, and the children who deserve a brighter future. The time for change is now!
Many of the themes that were already put out is our fight also. When we talk about the harsh immigration policies that are being enforced right now,
We had over 100 members that lost their jobs several weeks ago over at South St. Paul in a hide plant in a distribution center, and we're just waiting for the other shoe to drop in some of our packing houses. And it just makes no sense. These are hardworking people. This is clearly not the mission that has been put forward for ICE to do. We keep hearing about this shared sacrifice, and we just think that is totally just a great tool to use on people that have less and less. Our motto is share the abundance. There's plenty to go around.
Hey everybody, I'm actually really glad to be here today. It's better than being in jail, which is kind of where I thought I was headed a couple months ago, and maybe I still am. And the fact is, what we need in this country, instead of investigating activists, is to make real homes, safe homes, homes with food, health care, education, everything that our loved ones and our families need. When the government pointed their finger at me and said that I was aiding terrorists, I feel like maybe they should have held the mirror up in front of them, you know? The fact is, they go around the world dropping bombs, and they let us and our neighbors go homeless and starve in their backyards. The terrorists are controlling the halls of government.
Anyone who has tried to manage their own debt can tell you that the first thing that you must do when you realize that you're in the hole is to stop digging. And yet for every tax dollar spent, 54% of that goes to military spending, to go to this unwinnable war that is a sinkhole, just a sinkhole with no end in sight. The universe